recorder. Okay, so good evening to all of you. I'm Narendra Kumar as a PGT Physics and CBSE resource person, and also at this platform in Birla School, Pilani, Rajasthan. And specifically, we have taken national curriculum framework for the teachers and the administrator point of view, because as a trainer, we feel that once the policy has to be implemented, so the educator and specifically those who are in the administrative post, they understood the basic, the flow, how the policy has to be into the ground level when the teacher community are involved in this progress, because it's not a one-man show, it's a teamwork where we are talking about the 4 C's in the classroom. So that C's is also implemented with all of us. So with this theme, we have taken this particular topic, that is National Curriculum Framework. Already, we as an educator are familiar with lot of terms already. We know the concept of what the policy needs. From the last 3 years. We are focusing more on the inclusive diversity in the classroom, the Indian culture, and different dimensions. So for today's session, specifically, I will share my screen and we will continue this.
140.
Yes, sir. Audible?
Last time तो कुछ 70 बोला.
Yes, sir. Are you saying something? Okay. So let us continue that what the policy needs, what the basic concept of this one, because national this curriculum framework covers the different dimension and is categorized into the 5 important parts. The first one is the approach, the second one is the cross-cutting themes, the third one is the school subjects, the fourth one is the school culture and processes, and the fifth one is the creating a supportive ecosystem. So we are specifically the part D, where the school culture in the previous session we have taken, and today we specifically focus on the school processes, how the school will enter into this particular domain, and this domain specifically admit the concept of what the school culture is, how the administrator they make some plan, and how the plan has to be implemented into the classroom. So not only the teachers, but all the stakeholders are involved in this process. And when we are talking about the school curriculum, when we are talking about the framework, definitely a guidelines plays a very, very crucial role. So we an educator must understood this particular concept, what the flow of the school is, how this our school system will follow certain guidelines, the certain, already we are doing a lot of things in the education setup, but how this has to be implemented, how the policy has to be come into the root level of the education setup. So we as an educator plays a very crucial role, because children, when we are talking about at the center of the learning, so what are the framework where we must know? For example, we will continue with this one. This is the part D of the national curriculum framework, where we are touching the school processes. So school process is the second part after the school culture, because the school culture, when we are talking about in the previous session, that is what are the relationship we are getting with the students, what are the relationship as an administrator, as a teacher we are getting with the colleagues, with the stakeholders, with the community member, with the parents. So when we are talking about the processes, so we must know the concept that what type of the mechanism we are using in the education setup. So when we are talking about the mechanism, we try to understand, we ensure this school processes ensure 2 very important things. And what are these 2 important things? That is, number 1, it includes the smooth functioning of day-to-day activities. And what are the day-to-day activities? That is from morning when students report to the school, students leave the school, if it's a day school, if it's a boarding setup, so during that time, how the children, they're having a different activities in the educational setup in that scenario. So if it's a boarding setup, so different guidelines we are having. If it's a day school, so we are having a different guideline. So smooth functioning of the day-to-day activities, that the important part of the school process. And the second one, when we talk about this one, so that is the achievement of the curricular goals. We will discuss the curricular goal in a separate session, but here we try to understand what the curriculum transaction has to be into the classroom, because it's not only that curriculum, but along with the curriculum, the other aspects, it's a emotional, it's a social emotional, it's a ethics, values, dispositions, and all these are connecting with the learning outcomes. So when we are talking about the school process, we must ensure that the day-to-day activities which we are conducting in the school, for example, the morning assembly, for example, the class assembly, for example, the band display, the 20 minutes activity which we are conducting during the assembly time, when we are transacting something a value to the students. So that plays a very, very important role as an administrator, as an educator. If we are connected is any part of the system, we must have to ensure about these two important aspects. So school processes specifically, broaderly, we will see it involve the three important categories. And when we are talking about the categories, so it is actually, it is divided, the process is divided into these three important categories. Number one, the curricular process. And number second, the curriculum associated process. So when we are talking about the curriculum processes, so definitely from the school timetable, if we are talking about the school timetable, uh, which is the backbone of the curriculum transaction. So from that school timetable to the other activities which is connected for the learning of the students, that has to be the part of curriculum associated process. Because once the timetable suppose is given into the system, all the things which I am discussing right now, it is exclusively the part of NCF 2023, the latest document of 600 pages. And when we specifically go through the page number 530 onwards, you will find the school processes. So school culture and school processes are under the part of uh, section D, where we are discussing specifically this one. So three important categories we are talking about: the curriculum processes, the curriculum associated processes, and the importantly, that is the organizational process. These organizational processes are specifically for the principals, for the administrator, because uh, this is the main core area where administrator, they plan their strategies, how to implement that curriculum processes. For example, it's a the timetable in the school, it's a school activities, it's a school academic calendar. Yes, sir. Are you saying something, sir? I request you, if you have any, please. Otherwise, you keep yourself muted. Okay, so we will continue. So these are the three important aspects as per the national curriculum framework. Those who have joined late, we are in a part of uh, enter into the school processes, how the curriculum related activities, that curricular activities has to be admitted. What are the organizational processes? Because as an administrator, we must know what are the things are going on. How the school timetable has to be implemented. So one by one, we try to elaborate this one. Let us we try to focus more in these three broader categories. For example, what the curricular processes involve. For example, different committees, different events and the celebration in the schools are going on. So the important thing is here,
अरे वो हुआ आया मेरा अमेजोन वाला.
I request to be muted. If it is required, then you can unmute yourself. It's a recorded session. Okay. So curricular processes, it specifically have a direct effect on the learning, because when we are talking about the direct effect on the learning, so definitely it touches a lot of aspect of the students, and primarily we are focused on the best use of the time and resources. And when we are talking about the time and resources, so we all an educator very much clear. Time means it's a timetable, it's a school running activity. Resources means the resources may be in the form of the digital resources which are available in the educational setup, resources which our teachers are creating their own, that is their own creativity, resources which the different platforms are providing to the educators, resources which the system or the organization which are supporting scaffolding to the system. So best use of the time and resources is the prime concern, because it is the direct impact on the students learning. So let us we continue. What are the different aspects? For example, the first important aspect is the school timetable. So school timetable, how we design the timetable. For example, on Saturday, the last 2 periods we are designing for the purpose of club activities. For example, uh, as per the timetable on a particular, if it's a small children, if we are in the foundational stage, at that time we are creating some activity. At that time we are creating some planned activity for the students to engage them not only in the classroom but out of the classroom, that has to be planned in a very effective way. So school timetable plays a very crucial role, because when we block some specific periods for the specific activities. For example, as a physics teacher in physics, chemistry, and other subjects, those who are involved in the practicals, some commerce subjects, some humanities subjects, right now they are involved in the practical session. So that slot has to be fixed, and during that time, students comes to the lab and they perform some activity, hands-on activities, hands-on demonstrations on the experimentation. They try to find out something new. So this school timetable not only cover the academic, but even when we design this one, so when the vacation will be there, when uh, the school will over for the winter or for the summers, for the different season we are taking, when the examination schedule has to be taken care of, at what time, at what level the school is going to conduct the different examinations. So that is the part of this one. So if we are talking about the next domain, that is the school assembly. Now specifically when we talk about the school assembly, as an educator we are very much familiar that school assembly itself the part of the culture of the school, how the students, how the different stakeholders, they are using this platform for the different purposes. For example, the physical education and the mental well-being, we have a lot of activities all together. We are creating some space here for the students, so that the students can express their emotions at that time. Students when involved in the some physical activities, so that is again a very good software for the mental well-being of the students. School assembly, that is also a medium to give a platform for the students. For uh, some students, they are having some hesitation, they are having some phobia, not to say, even school assembly and class assembly both plays a very important role for the personality development of the students. So during this time, this platform not only give the students a responsibility, but also make them a lifelong learner, provide them an opportunity. For example, the student school council will be at this platform, so they have a lot of opportunities to show their talents, show their potentials, how they communicate, how they control, how they handle all these things. Because once involve the students in the school process, that is a curricular process where the school assembly is the integral part of this one. It plays a very, very important that when we involve the students council over there, help them to take the decision. So this decision making skill is also a very important aspect that the students needs, and automatically that has to be developed. So when we talk about the next aspect, that is the library. So definitely this library is the central part of the growth of the students, and that provides a value system to the students, not only to the student, but this is the place where we are getting all the resources, the online or the offline, as per my interest. So when we are talking about the school library plays a uh, platform for the students where students can share their ideas, even relevant books related with all the dimension. It may be religious, it may be cultural, it may be scientific, it may be the novel, it may be the some discoveries and some innovation. So a vibrant, we can say the library is required in the school setup. And even national curriculum framework, the policy also focus some space for some library corner in each and every classroom, as per the requirement, as per the need of the student, the level of the student. Some corner we can, as an educator, we can create in our classroom also. So library, it's even when we talk about the library, we create some hands-on activities where students not only go through with the books, but they can demonstrate their own learning process. And when we are talking about their own learning process, meet the author events like that is the creative activities such as the writing thought of, even the poster and the book covers and book binding are very exciting events for the students. Even when we talk about this one, involve the students and the stakeholder for the purchasing of the books. When we make a list as an administrator, when we talk about what to purchase at the for the next academic year, so not only take a decision of a particular, but when we create a committee, better to involve the different departments, different teachers, the student council, even take the idea from the students, what type of the interest they're having, and then finalize accordingly. So library is also important aspect. This is a very, very important area when we are talking about the students committees and forum. So already when I was discussing the previous point, I was focusing about the students committee. So student council, when as early as possible, when we identify the students not only in the academic but in the other dimension, how the students communicate, how the students involved in different activities, how the student help the to make the system in a better way, how the student take a decision which is in favor of the school community, how they are engaging the parents in the same process, how they are convincing as an alumni, how they are entering at the higher level. That is, so this is the platform where students committee, when student council has to be appointed, getting them involved in the different processes in the school. So definitely this platform give a students a lot of critical thinking, help the students to help the students to take a decision on the process, develop the leadership skills, helps the conflict resolution. Because sometimes what happen, we as an educator find that it is difficult, but student to student, when the peer group, they discuss something with one another, they take the responsibility, they take the accountability, and at that time students come to a very, very good decision. So this is a very important aspect. The students committee and form plays a very crucial role. Events and celebration. This is a very, again, very core area of the school setup. When we talk about the events, because school are conducting a lot of events, not only the annual day, but sports day, the science day. They are having different competition in the schools, art exhibition, the music display, the orchestra, the band activities. When they are celebrating all these events, they are the expert talks, the student council, the mental well-being activities, physical health and hygienes, the emotional and the vocational activities, some internship programs are going on. So when events has to be planned in the school, so it must be taken care of all the aspects. It should not be biased. We are involving the students of all the levels of all the categories in different events, so that at least the student involved in different events. And here when we talk about the participation, student when involved, so participation is more important, because it's not possible that everyone on the first line. Student has to understand, parents, we as an educator has to convince them. And we also feel that the space is not that at one place we are fixed for a particular child. The rotation of the positions involving the best performer of the students in that group. Even when we are performing the annual day, it is very much focused in the curriculum also. It's not only that we are showing the pomp and show this and wearing a lot of costume. If we go through the curriculum framework, you will see over there, it is very much clear mention. It's not the students will wear that costume and all this. They have a lot of expression in the terms of the financially burden on the parents, but on the same time, it must be comfort to the students. It must be hygienic in the physical appearance of the students. It must appropriate dress has to be wear by the students while performing the any of the activities. So while we are involving the students in any of the festival, the sports day, the annual day, or other dimensions, we must take care of the multi-dimensional activities. We must take care of the classroom activities where the students perform very well. So events and celebration is a very, very important aspect. Use of technology. This is a very, very, again, a prime focus, because when we are talking about the use of technology, sometimes a lot of now educational platforms are providing a ready-made material. So we cannot leave the students alone on that platform. So use of technology to be done very smartly as an educator, because that also affect the mental well-being of the students sometimes. And here critically we'll see students are deviating from one platform to the other. So digital addiction is another platform. So use of the technology effectively, we are take care of this one. So quickly we come to the next one. So second one is the curriculum associated activities. So curriculum associated activity is a mediating effect on the learning, because already the curriculum activities are in process. So when we talk about at the middle of this one, so we have to take care of few important aspects: the teacher collaboration and professional development. We as an educator must ensure that all the teachers, they get professionally trained. They must be in contact with each other, not only through the mobile or through the platform, but emotionally and socially also. Because once we are connected with each other, and it is again here the role of the stakeholder plays a very critical, because professional development where CBSE also focuses even different platforms, that is 50 hours continuous training for the teacher, where we also imparting the training to the different educator to the different parts of the country. So professional development where teachers, their educator, they are getting more skill as per the requirement, because the system has been changed, the student has been changed. So definitely we also need to be upskill ourselves. Engagement with the parents, family, and community. So these three dimension plays a very important role, because as in because they are also the part of this process. So once we involve these in our processes, so definitely it makes the child better, makes the child happier, and that is the part of creating a happy classroom. Midday meal, health and hygiene. So in day school, it's not a much challenge because we have to take care during the interval or during the break time. But if it's a boarding setup, so we have to taken care of all the aspects, all the different health and hygiene of the children, because it give a lot of insight how the child eat and what the child eat, because nutritious value, which is a prime concern in the policies, also focuses for the physical and mental well-being of the students. So we have to take care of all these aspects so that the students, they get the proteins, students, they get all are needed in a balanced diet. So this is the second aspect. Come to the next one. This is the organizational processes, a very important aspect of the school process, because it's directly related with the principal and the educators. So it enable, yes, it enable the planning for and smooth functioning of the previous these two, the processes and the co-curricular the curricular associated processes. So what the process is, what is in the middle. So this organizational process where the school development plan, and when we are talking about the school development program, it includes the annual academic plan also. It include all the aspect which is required, because annual calendar, the mobilizing and allocating the resources, because when we are talking about the school development plan, so it specifically focuses on the institutional level planning, because at that time as an educator, not only the focus on the what the academic calendar is going on, but the other aspect of the dimension, because here a lot of stakeholders are involving the administrative part of this one. The school development plan focuses the process of the curriculum, how it has to be transacted. So conducting the PTM, involving the alumni, experts. So what are the previous year challenges, and this year we are going to improve that one. That is also a part of the school development plan. The summer camp when we design, the break when we design, examination when we design. So this is also the part of this one. Annual academic calendar. It's again a very important and very technical part of this team, because if it is a properly documented overall enabling of the school activities, so definitely it makes the school better and the happy school. So annual academic calendar, which includes the different events, the celebrations, the Independence Day, the Republic Day, the Janmashtami, the festival, the Holi, Diwali, Christmas, all these activities list goes on, that has to be planned very smartly. So next is the mobilization and allocation of resources. Some resources are at one place, and some resources we are as per the need of the teacher, need of the classroom, we changes. Sometimes students come out of the classroom, sometimes at one place students has to be there. So we have to take care of all these aspects as an administrator. Data management and report. As an administrator, now a lot of ERP system and other software enter into the system. So data management and reporting are very crucial. So we have to take care of all the admission processes, the fees collections, during the report of the students, even their results, communication with the parents, the first hand data storage, even after 10 years, 5 years or 20 years when we need something. So how the mechanism has to be played. So all the, as an educator, we must be ready to create this platform. The next one is the form for resolving the conflicts and the disciplinary issues. This is again a very important aspect, because this we have to create a committees, a team which deal with this one, involve the student council at some extent. We must be clear with the POSCO and RT and other acts, so that not to be into the any issues. So if anything is fine. So as an administrator, we must be ready to take the disciplinary issues, but we try to resolve the conflicts in the conversation with as per the requirement of the level of the students. Safety related issues, it's not only the physical, but the emotional and intellectual. So when we talk about the physical, the infrastructure, the resources, the building, and when we talk about the emotionals, so not only the emotional trauma, which is caused by the verbal and the non-verbal communication of the students, but also we have to take care the emotional safety of the teachers. This is also very, very important line in the national curriculum framework 2023, because we also take care of our teachers also. So intellectual, it's a thinking capacities where the students sometimes not to be feel unsafe. So we have to take care when students take some decision. Sometimes intellectually, we can say uh, the thinking capacities of the students will take some decision, and at that time some support has to be there. So this is something about the organizational process. Broadly I have focused, and continuously the safety related, this is the prevention of bullying, the prevention of sexual harassment, the sexual abuse. As an administrator, we make the committees, involve the students, have a conversation, have a discussion, and specifically the cyber safety. This is a very, very important nowadays. A lot of things we have seen in the digital form, so we have to taken care of this aspect also. So common safety measures, some guidelines, SOP has to be implemented in the school setup. Thank you so very much for everyone for listening patiently. Thank you.